Good afternoon, everybody. So I thought we could do a garden tour because it is August 21st. I don't know, I feel like this year, and August in particular, has just gone by so freaking quick. And so I want to, oh, do you guys like my new necklace? I got this off of Amazon for like $8. I don't know, it's really cute. It's like a little choker. It's one piece. And I did my makeup a little different today too. A little lighter than I normally would, but I like it. So let's do a garden tour real quick, because it's all so beautiful and it changes so fast that if I don't get footage, it will just be gone. I guess that's what you call ephemeral. Okay, so we have a second bloom of larkspur here. It's already produced seed and it bloomed again. So that's exciting. Look how big my air plants have all gotten. They're all loving that new spot I made for them. Catnip has bloomed. Unfortunately, that Scotch moss died, but this one right here is loving its life. The lemon balm, petunias with a bunch of morning glories and stuff. I've moved some impatiens over there. That wire vine has really spread out nicely. The pincushion flowers. We've got some right here. This is I can't remember what that is. We got stock right here. We got I don't know why some of my sunflowers are, well, most of my sunflowers are like this year. They're super short, but then a couple other ones are super freaking tall, like the tallest I've ever seen. So it's a weird year for sunflowers. You can see the echinacea looking beautiful. It's got some daisies beneath it, also some foxgloves. Of course, they're not there right now. They're kind of mixed in with the echinacea. You can't really see them. And then behind it there's some coleus and some yarrow. There is a patch of basil next to the amaranth, and then there's a fennel. The holy basil, this is a patch of sweet William there. I'm not going to go through every plant, so let me just take a walk around so you guys can see everything. This plant here has gotten so big. Look at it. And then this begonia, sorry, that name totally blank. The begonia is looking fabulous. The weed plant, y'all, look at my weed plant. This weed plant is doing so good, and you could see it's starting to produce hairs and all that, looking fabulous. Okay, and then over here we've got, there's a raspberry bush in there, but I don't think it's doing good. I might have to move it. There's a sweet potato, or not sweet potato, just a potato vine. The moonflowers, bunch of beautiful flowers on it. Sweet potatoes here. This prickly pear that I'm propagating him right now. So he is being propagated, and you can see he's grown a little guy here and one here and there. So that's exciting. The green peppers are doing so fabulous, as well as the banana peppers. They are just looking so good, producing. They're slowing down on producing, but my freezer is full of both. Tomatoes are starting to look pretty sad, but they're still producing tomatoes, so they're just looking real sad. I might after I harvest this crop right here of tomatoes, I'm probably going to pull this guy up. But I did just harvest a big crop yesterday and made some soup with it. And you could see here, we got a cordyline plant. These beautiful German hedge tomatoes. We're going to have these tonight for dinner in some BLT sandwiches. So excited for that. The red foliated cotton I don't know when it's going to start producing cotton. Probably when it starts to get cold. I don't know. I've been meaning to do some research on it. But you can see this thing right here. This is hard as a rock. And they're everywhere on it. And I'm assuming that's where I'm assuming that's going to be full of cotton. Or it will burst open when it's ready. I'm just not sure. I've never grown it, so. I'll show you these plants here. The black lace elderberry actually has like tripled in size from when I planted it. I'm loving this plant. I'll do a separate video for the front. Well, no, we're just going to do a full tour. We're going to do a full tour. Okay, so we got the zinnias here, cordyline, some gladiolus. Alright. Here's our herb pot. Look at all the herbs have come up. Look down there, we got little tiny seedlings. Okay. The hydrangeas are looking fabulous. They love this spot. This hydrangea has looked better than it has in years. Orchid right there. Okay, let's go this way. So here we've got, this is a blue morning glory. See, most of my sunflowers are looking like this. They're looking super small and strange. We have got marjoram, ginger, and amaranth, rosemary, calendula, catnip, lucerne blue-eyed grass. This is Indian tobacco, which it just kind of grows naturally in the yard. Got eucalyptus right here. The herb bed. So I just pulled up right here, this spot. It was full of yarrow. The yarrow was spreading immensely, so I had to dig it up, and I moved it all over the yard. I put some in the front, I put some back over here in different spots, and really just put it wherever I could. Because the oregano is spreading. But everything's looking pretty good. The patchouli is starting to look a little sad. I'm going to have to come out here and cut some of those flowers off of it so it can save some of its energy, because these bees, I don't want to cut it because the bees love it so much, but like, I know the more I cut, the more it produces, so. Then we got these sunflowers over here. And we got some verbena down there with the flowers. That magnolia tree is looking pretty sad. Nope, we're not getting any tomatoes off of this plant yet, but it's still looking really good. Zinnias pumpkin patch is enormous. But you know, I love it. I love pumpkins. And we've got our pumpkin right down in there. And we got a small one over here. And we got another one. Let's see, you can see it. You can see it right over there. It's kind of underneath the stuff, but you can see it. The corn looking good. Unfortunately, a storm blew over the gourd structure, but the gourds are still on there, and everything's still looking pretty good. So I'm just gonna let them dry out on there. You know, I might want to pick them soon, because you could tell it's being decimated by squash bugs already. But yeah, the pumpkin patch is just enormous. Really enjoy it. And these little cardinal flowers, in the early mornings you can see hummingbirds out here. Got some lavender and some milkweed and some crimson sage, strawberries in the pot. Okay, and here's the arch. This is what it looks like. See, I usually come out here and I try to clip as many of those seed pods out before they burst open, just to cut down on the, you know, the ones that will grow next year, inevitably. I do enjoy the morning glories over here though, because they do stay open since they're shaded. I didn't think morning glories would do good in the shade, and really over here was an experiment, because this spot gets like maybe like an hour or so of sunlight in the morning, and then it's full shade all day long. And you can see the Coleus. The Coleus love it, but I didn't know if the morning glories would do good. And you guys, the morning glories stay open and like a few hours later than the ones that are in the sun. So if you've got a shady spot that you just want to kind of cover, I really recommend those. The willow plant, you can see how big the willow plant has gotten. This is a dappled willow. That was a new add-in this year. And the begonias down here with the pennywort and the coleus. The coleus is so amazing. I can literally, all of these right here, I just took clippings and just set, I didn't even bury them. I didn't plant them or anything. I just set them down in the, I kind of nestled them in the pennywort, and they grew. Like everything's growing. Like, how beautiful. All of this is grown from cuttings from just like 3 plants or 4. And this heuchera, I noticed, attracts a lot of smaller pollinators, like the tiny bees, which is really nice to know, because I really aim to provide food and flowers for all different types of pollinators, which is why I grow such a big variety of things, because I want everything to be able to eat. So let's go this way. Well, under there, that's Jaxie's new favorite spot. This little, this is just a piece of cattle fencing or chicken fencing that I used for the gourd thing. And I've been wrapping the vines around it, and she has just fallen in love. She stays there all the time almost. In this bed, we've got some corn. I seeded some early glass gem corn. This is like a 68-day corn. We still have quite a bit of time until our frost. First frost is usually like, let's see, the first frost is usually like the beginning of November for us, because we're in zone 7A. Strawberries, amaranth, the Chinese forget-me-nots have made a second appearance in the garden this year. Those are always such a pleasure to look at. But they're seed pods, you guys. They're like little chiggers. They stick to you, and they're quite annoying. They stick to the cats and everything. This lemon balm has gotten huge because I split it up. Even though I split it up, so that bunch and this bunch here, it was all one bunch, and I kind of just went in there with a shovel and cut it out. You really can't hurt lemon balm, I'm telling you. And even that, it came up in a second spot here, and then it came up also right here. So it comes up pretty prolific, but it smells really good, and it's really nice to have. I've been collecting Nigella seeds. I've been watching this seed pod for a few days. It's not quite ready yet. I just harvested out of another pod today, this one here. Those Nigella are so beautiful. This Rose Champion's getting bigger. Next year it will flower. Excited for that. Looks like I'm going to have to thin it out too. Over here we've got more pincushion flowers, watermelon, more sage, that scarlet sage, mugwort looking awful. but I'm letting it go to seed so it spreads. Okay, let's go this way. So this part of the garden we've got Morning Glory. I've been getting the seed pots out of there too, so they don't reproduce. With the understory of beans that I'm just leaving there because they're nitrogen fixing. They fix the nitrogen in the soil. This catnip looking glorious. Look here. So this is about to bloom. I didn't think these were going to bloom this year, these spider flowers, but look. They're coming out ever so slowly. They're just unraveling themselves. I've never grown these before, and they're very beautiful. This is my first experience with spider flowers, and I love them so far. It would be cool to get a time lapse of them opening, but I don't know how long that would take. But we've got some echinacea with some marigolds and some sage. I'm gonna have to move that sage and that sage over there because the reason it flops so big or so dramatically like that is because it's not getting enough sun. And then we've got some ginger with some lemon verbena right there, and some dianthus making another second bloom. See these sunflowers? They're like so small. I don't understand why they're like this. We've got a volunteer hollyhock, some nigella here. I just planted some orchid cream nasturtiums right here. So they'll come up maybe this year, maybe next year. Well, definitely next year, maybe this year. I'm not sure. Because these nasturtiums are still producing and coming up. All these beautiful zinnias. This sunflower here, begonia. Okay. Go this way. There you see the beautiful hibiscus. There's lots of stuff in this garden. See the amaranth I put over here. I did put down some seeds. Obviously, I can't remember what they were, but we'll see when they come up. The Monarda has some kind of it looks like some kind of fungus or something. So the carrots look really good though. And that potato vine stayed quite small this year, surprised. But the Powys Castle Artemisia is looking quite fabulous. This is such a hardy plant, you guys. Like, it does not die. All winter it stays alive. And it's so big and showy. And when you cut it, it will branch out like a salvia would or anything else, really. But this is such a nice plant. And over here you can see this bed is filling up nicely. Everything's looking nice and full. This bed is one I'm trying to get full looking. There's some coleus in here and some impatiens. And some violas. And over there we've got a hosta, other things. Bird of paradise right here. Okay, let's go. Oh, and I have, this year also, I have a lot of these grapes that have self-seeded. So that's interesting. I'm just going to let those stay because why not? Oh, and the other day during a storm, a big, huge eastern white pine fell, and I had Mark's son come over and cut it up with a chainsaw for me. So that's going to be fun to play with. Alright, let's go to the front yard so I can show you everything. You can see the sunflowers are drooping hardcore. So that dahlia tree that my nephew got me has not been doing so good. These hollyhocks, I took them down. They're growing back. The gardenia is doing very well, producing lots of flowers. I've been able to pick a ton of flowers from this to save. The butterfly bushes, the mums I moved, and I planted this red azalea right here, or hibiscus right here. And look at these sunflowers. These are the Russian Mammoth sunflowers. So they are enormous. You can tell I've been picking some of the petals to try to just dry. But they are so heavy, and they've got these Grandpa Ott morning glories on them, but they're so heavy. They're just, hello Jelly. Yo Squeaky Bean. They're so heavy they are falling over. But then we've got, beneath them, we've got these two teeny tiny sunflowers that are so adorable. Look. So this one looks so different than the other one. And I've got to come out here and see all of these seed pods from these morning glories. That's how I keep them from spreading too much, is I pick these off as soon as I see them. Otherwise, there'll be 4 to 6 seeds in every single one of these little pods. And that's a lot of seeds. A lot of seedlings to have to deal with. And then over here, for some reason, my Rudbeckia is dying. I don't know why. Jelly, what? I don't know why my Rudbeckia is dying. I don't know. I just don't know. And these dahlias are looking so beautiful and fabulous. Like they're not getting as big as the other ones because they're not in full sun all day, like the ones on the other side. But we've got some asters here, or some asters right here. And we've got this little calendula mixed in. Such a beautiful color of calendula. Yes, Jelly. And we've got the scarlet honeysuckle about to bloom right here. Such a beautiful bloom. This cordyline's looking very nice. I'm going to be digging out this wisteria because it is an invasive Chinese wisteria, and I did not know that. And the way you could tell the difference between them is the Chinese wisteria. See how the new growth looks red? The American wisteria, which is the non-invasive, the new growth is bright green. This is what you want. You don't want that red one. And another thing about the Chinese wisteria, it's much more prone to Japanese beetles. The Japanese beetles didn't touch my American wisteria, but they decimated the top of that Chinese wisteria. So this is a new bed that I cut around this crabapple tree. I put in the echinacea. I put the burning bush there. Let's see, I put the beautyberry, pink lavender, some yarrow, the eucalyptus, the gaillardia. I put some carrot flowers out here. Because they were, oh man, it smells like cat piss over here. I'm going to have to do something about that. Oh wow, look at that teeny tiny. Do you see that? It's really small spider web. It's like so beautiful. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about that. Over here we've got holy basil, mums, roses, stonecrop, a bunch of dahlias. See, these dahlias are out of control. And we've got some really beautiful morning glories over here that they're like a mix of the pink and the blue. But yeah, I've been dealing with morning glories in there forever. And let's see, we got some, what is that? Pineapple sage. Got some marigold. Sorry guys, my brain is blanking. Yarrow from the backyard. the crepe myrtle here, and this poor weeping pussy willow just looks terrible. So yeah, that is, oh, well, let me show you down over here first. So we've got all of these plants here, roses, petunias, morning glories. Got over here, we've got some peppers, roses. I took that morning glory thing out because it fell from the storm. And yeah, that is the garden this year, you guys. Or so far in August. Got a little morning glory plant there. Let me show you. One of you guys made a comment that I didn't have a monstera. That's because you couldn't see it because it's out here. I've got this big giant monstera here. And I've got 2 dracaenas flanking the opening of the door. Swedish ivy. We got some spider plants. We got a berry illusion arrowhead. This is a Persian, some kind of Persian flower. We've got the jasmine, angel wing begonia, this variegated ficus, and all of my succulents. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the garden tour, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!